Hi guys, Irina here and welcome back to my channel where I review everything tech. In today's video, let's compare the cameras of these two phones, the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra and the iPhone 12 Pro Max. As always, in this camera test, we'll take a look at some random daylight photos, night shots, zoomed photos, portraits, and so much more. And at the end of this video, I'll test the side-by-side video quality and stabilization. Let's quickly talk about the camera specs of these phones. Well, this time around, we have a lot of cameras here. However, the main difference between these two camera setups is that the S21 Ultra has the advantage when it comes to taking zoomed photos. You get two telephoto cameras on this phone with a zoom of up to 100 times. Let's start with the photos taken in the portrait mode, and one of my favorite things about the portrait modes on these phones is that you could choose between two zoom options. The first one by default is zoomed, and I would say this one is my favorite since the portraits look more authentic as you would take them with a professional camera, and I would say we get pretty similar photos in terms of exposure and colors. However, as you can see, the 12 Pro Max produced a slightly sharper looking photo, so we can see all the details of my jacket better, and it's not a good or a bad thing, it always comes down to personal preferences. The separation from the background is really good in both of these shots, but that day it was practically windless, so it was an easy task. And speaking of the second zoom option in the portrait modes of these phones, you can take photos with no zoom, so you could fit more into the frame. These kinds of portraits look especially good if there is a dramatic sky in the shot, but as you can see, the sky was pretty boring that day. The amount of blur in these photos was applied by default, but the good thing is that you could adjust it the way you like it on the S21 Ultra as well as on the 12 Pro Max. And moving on to some random daylight photos I've taken, and you can judge them for yourself. Now let's talk about zoomed photos, and I think this is the category I was most curious about, so let's see how these cameras compare, and let's start with 3x zoom photos. I want to take a closer look here. The S21 Ultra produced a more contrasty looking photo, but other than that, I would say these shots are pretty much equal when it comes to how crisp they look. Next, let's take a look at these 10x zoom photos, and at this point, the 12 Pro Max is losing its ground. This difference is really noticeable even without zooming into these photos, but we've just started, so the maximum zoom for the iPhone 12 Pro Max is 12 times, which is actually not bad. However, the S21 Ultra lets you go much farther. This is a 30x zoom photo, and I have to admit the quality of this shot is really good for a 30x zoom photo on a smartphone, thanks to the new telephoto camera setup on the S21 Ultra. And also, as promised, this phone can take 100x zoom photos, and while the quality of the shot is not that good, it's still so much better than this 12x zoom photo from the iPhone 12 Pro Max, and that's crazy. A few more zoomed photos for you guys. Next, let's take a look at some ultra-wide photos. Both of these ultra-wide cameras have a 120-degree field of view, which means they're equal in terms of how much you could fit into the frame. And let's take a look at some ultra-wide photos taken in the night mode, and in this particular example, it looks like the S21 Ultra did a better job here, providing a sharper looking photo. But let's look at the next couple of photos. If we take a closer look at the snow, these photos look pretty much equal to me, but if I zoom into the sky, look how much noise we have in the shot from the 12 Pro Max. Now let's switch to the front cameras of these phones. We have a 40-megapixel selfie camera on the S21 Ultra and 12-megapixel camera on the 12 Pro Max. And let's take a look at some selfies. These are portrait selfies with blurred backgrounds. My face looks red in the selfie from the iPhone. I'm not sure if it was red in real life. Well, actually it could be since it was cold outside. So yes, we get different skin tones from these selfie cameras. Overall, yes, the S21 Ultra produces slightly sharper looking selfies when compared to the 12 Pro Max, so in the photos from the S21 Ultra, you can see all the details and texture of your skin better, whether you like it or not, but I think it's amazing since you get a higher picture quality. But at the same time, I cannot say that this difference in sharpness is that dramatic since the selfies from the 12 Pro Max look pretty crisp as well. And now let's test the sound quality and the video quality of these selfie cameras. So this is the sound from the S21 Ultra. And now I'm switching to the 12 Pro Max. So this is the sound from the 12 Pro Max. What do you think, guys? Now let's see how these front cameras compare when it comes to video. Once again, the video from the S21 Ultra looks crisper to me, and when it comes to stabilization, I would say the S21 Ultra did a better job here. And let's look at these selfie videos shot in the very low light conditions. I look like a ninja here, but the mask was keeping me warm. The video from the iPhone looks brighter, but when it comes to the quality of the video, I would say it's slightly better on the S21 Ultra. Next, let's take a look at some photos taken in the night mode, and you can judge them for yourself. Moving on to the videos, and let's start with the stabilization test. Obviously, the stabilization is really good on both of these phones, and it's really hard to say which one is better than the other. Let me know, guys, what you think. And I would say we have pretty much the same situation when it comes to stabilization on the ultra-wide cameras of these phones. A few more daylight videos for you guys, and let me know which phone's videos you prefer. And a few night videos for you guys. That's all for this video, guys. Give me a thumbs up if this video was helpful for you. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on which phone's camera performance you like better, so please share in the comments below. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.